Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. On this episode of Build Your Own, we're going to build, price, and option a 2019 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve, as well as learn about the features and other configurations. Before we do, however, I just want to remind you that if you find this build and price review helpful, informative, or entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Sharp style and sporting performance remain hallmarks of the 2019 Mazda CX-5, a small crossover SUV designed for those who enjoy a spirited drive. Excellent handling and a high-quality interior also help make the 2019 Mazda CX-5 one of the top picks for a small SUV. The 2019 Mazda CX-5 crossover SUV is offered in 5 configurations: Sport, Touring, Grand Touring, Grand Touring Reserve, and Signature. Sport, Touring, and Grand Touring configurations are powered by a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that makes 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque and is equipped with front-wheel drive. Now, Grand Touring Reserve and Signature trims come with a more powerful turbocharged version of that exact same engine. It makes 250 horsepower in that trim and 310 pound-feet of torque, and it comes standard equipment for the base model 2019 Mazda CX-5 Sport, which has a starting MSRP, a starting price of $24,350. It gets 17-inch wheels, LED headlights, push-button ignition, a 7-inch touchscreen, manually adjustable front seats, 40-20-40 split reclining rear seats, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, Bluetooth, a 4-speaker sound system with 2 USB ports, low-speed forward collision warning and mitigation, and blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert are also included. Adding the optional Sport Eye Active Sense package brings automatic headlights, automatic high beams, lane departure warning, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, upgraded forward collision warning and mitigation with pedestrian detection, and automatic windshield wipers. The next trim level up is the Touring. It has a starting price of $26,615. The Eye Active Sense safety features come standard on the Touring trim. You also get automatic wipers, keyless entry, a power adjustable driver seat, dual zone automatic climate control, rear climate vents, simulated leather upholstery, heated front seats, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration, 2 additional speakers, and 2 more USB ports. The optional Touring Preferred package adds items such as a sunroof, a power liftgate, an auto-dimming rearview mirror, and an upgraded 10-speaker Bose sound system. The next configuration of 2019 Mazda CX-5 is the Grand Touring. It has a starting price of $30,045. You get everything I've mentioned thus far that comes included in the Sport and the Touring, along with 19-inch wheels, adaptive headlights, LED fog lights, heated side mirrors, leather upholstery now, a power adjustable passenger seat, driver seat memory functions, an upgraded driver information display, a navigation system, a satellite radio. The optional GT Premium package adds a head-up display, power folding mirrors, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a heated steering wheel, and a windshield wiper de-icer. Moving up to the Grand Touring Reserve, which we are going to do a build and price review on here in this video today, it has a starting price of $34,870. It adds the Grand Touring's optional features as standard, plus the more powerful engine and all-wheel drive now. The top tier 2019 Mazda CX-5 is the Signature trim. It has a starting price of $36,890. It adds ambient cabin lighting, premium leather upholstery, wood trim accents, a surround view camera, and front and rear parking sensors. I say make the stretch to get the Grand Touring Reserve. Yes, it's pricey at $34,870, but you get a great selection of premium features. None more premium than the new turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that gives the 2019 Mazda CX-5 the wallop of power it desperately needed. If that trim and configuration is out of your reach, the Touring is a practical combination of value, features, and safety equipment that should satisfy you. So the Grand Touring is the one that I like the most, which is why we're going to do the build in price. But if the Grand Touring's a little expensive, then I think this Touring trim level will be the way to go as a alternative plan B. Okay, let's jump into this build and price review of the 2019 Mazda CX-5 crossover SUV. We are going to do a build and price on the Grand Touring Reserve. It's the second from the top level. It's not cheap, but it has a lot of premium features. Now, before we actually get to the build and price, what we're going to do is we're going to actually go over all the features. We're going to learn all about the features of the 2019 Mazda CX-5. We'll look at the gallery. As you can see here, we're going to take a look at the exterior colors. And then after we do all of that, then we will do the build and price. So with that said, let's take a look at all these exterior colors for our Mazda CX-5 for 2019. This color here is known as Eternal Blue Mica. This one would be Deep Crystal Blue Mica. Here we have the Jet Black Mica. We have the Sonic Silver Metallic. This color is called Machine Gray Metallic, and it is actually a $300 upgrade. This color is called Snowflake White Pearl Mica. It is also an upgraded paint color, but instead of $300, this paint color costs $200. And then there's that Soul Red Crystal Metallic that in every Mazda video I've ever done, I say they love this color, which they do. But this color will cost you an additional $595 if you want your 2019 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve or any configuration really. If you want it in this color, it's going to cost you an extra $600. Let's take a look at the gallery. The first thing I'm going to say is something unrelated to the Mazda CX-5. I'm going to talk about the 2019 Mazda 3. Two things. One, I've done a build and price of the 2019 Mazda 3. Not sure if you're interested, but I'll put a link up to that right now. The other thing I want to say is I've actually spent some time in a 2019 Mazda 3, and the fit and finish is very tight. And looking at, I said all that to say this, looking at the interior here, this quick shot of the interior of the 2019 Mazda CX-5 reminds me of the Mazda 3. And that's a good thing because the interior is very, very tight. All right, so let's move on. There's other photos to look at. There's like 15. So, you know, we get some shots of the exterior and the interior. Here's a nice overhead shot showing the sunroof. They're showing a Grand Touring Reserve right here. Yep, looks good. Here's your navigation, your center console right here. And this controls like your infotainment and all that. Here you have your gauge cluster, but it's not digital. Looks like those are just standard analog gauges, which is fine. This one looks like it might be digital because I can see that this one looks to be a real analog gauge because I can see this needle is sitting on something, but this one looks like it's not. So it could be digital here. Don't know, not really sure. Here's some nice leather interior. Looks very good. Look at the fit and finish, the stitching, everything. Like I said, that Mazda 3 was really nice. I'm going to like to believe that this CX-5 is just as nice, if not even more. Here's a great shot. Here's your standard 6-speed automatic transmission. They're showing your little sport button here. Here's a great shot of the interior. Here's that heads-up display right there. If you watch this channel, then you know that I love heads-up displays and digital speedometers. If you don't, you see this little subscribe button down here in the bottom right corner, my friend? Yeah, go ahead and click that. Here's a nice shot of the full cabin. We get to see that 5-passenger seating. This looks to be in some shade of brown leather or simulated leather. There's that $595 paint. Here's your infotainment screen, infotainment system. Every trim level except for the base model gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Okay, looks like we've gone through all the photos. So now what we're going to go do is check out the features. And after we go through the features, then we'll go do the build and price. Okay, so let's talk features. The first category of features that Mazda wants to tell us about for the 2019 CX-5 is the performance features. So let's learn about them. First performance feature they want to tell us about is that iActive all-wheel drive that can help curb traction loss. And apparently this system monitors everything from outside temperature to throttle input and braking patterns to figure out how it's going to best help you, I suppose. Okay, so yeah, see this little sport button down here? They say gear stick. That's hilarious. See this little sport button down there? Yeah, that's called the dynamic drive selection, right? And that puts the power in your hands, they say. So if you choose the sport mode when you're driving around, then your responsive acceleration gets amplified. So it's a quicker throttle. So it's going to tighten up throttle response when you change lanes. And it doesn't say anything else. They don't say anything about changing transmission gearing or tightening up the steering or anything like that. They just say when you get ready to change a lane, it's going to be sportier. So I guess we're just going to have to take that at face value. I guess it's worth noting, that new turbocharged engine. Yeah, it makes 250 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque at a very low, I might add, 2,000 RPM. This thing is going to be pretty peppy and pretty responsive. Yeah, they say that it has nearly zero turbo lag as well, so pretty cool. And of course, the Grand Touring Reserve trim does come with this engine. So that's another reason why I wanted to step up to the Grand Touring trim, because it puts us in this new 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that's all peppy and whatnot. Okay, let's talk design for the 2019 Mazda CX-5 small crossover SUV with all this beautiful fit and finish that we see here. Let's learn. I guess they're really talking about the top tier signature model, right? Because that's new. The Grand Touring Reserve and the Signature trim, if I remember correctly, are the two new trims for 2019. And so the top tier Signature trim, and why am I talking about it? Because like I said in the beginning, this is a build and price review of the 2019 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve and other configurations. So this is the other configuration. So it gets more premium materials. It gets this Napa leather. It gets genuine wood, a cloth headliner. It gets unique stitch leather wrapped steering wheel, ambient cabin lighting. So yeah, and the whole thing is, no, it's not cheap, but in the big picture, it's still under $40,000. And you're getting a lot of premium luxury features that, hey, let's be real, that in a BMW, Mercedes, something like that, it's going to cost you probably another $10,000, $15,000 or more to have all the same stuff. You can't really talk about a Mazda without talking about their whole design language. They call it, I'm probably going to butcher it, Kodo or Kudu or something, Solar Motion Design, and it's their philosophy, and they put it in all their vehicles. And so, yeah, there's some serious thought processes that go into making all these Mazda vehicles. And so, yeah, that's why I want to point that out real fast. Here they're talking about the acoustic environment. So basically, they're probably trying to tell us that they use a lot of sound dampening materials that are infused throughout the cabin to diminish outside noise while allowing the right amount to keep you connected to the drive. Yeah, you need to hear some kind of outside noise while you're driving, so it's important. But it's cool that they've got the cabin very quiet. That's definitely a premium feature of a high-end car, is a quiet interior. Here they're telling us that the 2019 CX-5 will exceed your expectations of what a crossover SUV should be. It's driver-centric. The driver's seat, the space is focused and heightened, and it's got carefully selected premium materials and all that, and intuitively placed controls. I like these wheels, these 19-inch wheels with dark silver finish. These are standard on the Signature. I don't know if we can get it on our Grand Touring Reserve. I bet you we can, and if we can, we will. I know that there was some package. We'll figure it out here in a little bit, but yeah, I like wheels. These are nice ones. 19-inch wheels seems like a good size. Okay, let's talk technology here. Obviously, we can see this screen here. They're showing the Apple CarPlay. It's got also Android Auto integration. I don't know what you know about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but here's the deal. It says down here with the iPhone, you can access maps, your playlists, contacts, and compatible apps. There's not very many, but there are some compatible apps And you can also use Siri, and Siri can read incoming text messages, so you can reply to them without taking your hands off the wheel. Android Auto basically is the exact same thing, more or less, just a different version because it's not an Apple product. What's not to like about a very nice stereo system? Here they're talking about the available Bose 10 speaker audio sound system with Centerpoint 2 and Audio Pilot 2. It's a true surround sound experience. Yes, I love head-up displays. I love head-up displays, period. Just as a blanket statement. Do I think this is the best head-up display in the business? No. I actually think BMW's makes the best head-up display in the business. However, this one, nothing wrong with it. I don't need it to be the best for me to like it. So this is cool. So it says the available active driving display projects vital information onto the windshield, including safety system warnings, vehicle status, your speed, and route guidance. So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to learn a little bit about that suspension system. They call it Sky Active Dynamics or something. Let's figure out what they're saying. Well, it's standard. It's, Sky Active Vehicle Dynamics with G Vectoring Control Plus. It's standard on the 2019 CX-5. It's going to give you, this system can adjust power delivery when you're cornering so you don't get yourself in trouble, basically. They got a lot of active words, iActive, Sky Active, so I'm almost getting lost in the actives, right? This says Sky Active Technology. I thought the other thing said Sky Active Technology. At any rate, they're telling you that the Sky Active Technology really just consists of the body, the chassis, and the engine. And they use ultra high strength tensile steel in critical areas to help make the vehicle lighter yet stronger, and this is all done to give you a more enjoyable drive. So Mazda calls their infotainment system apparently Mazda Connect, and they say it's an advanced infotainment system, and it has a multitude of infotainment functions, and it has a 7-inch full color display and all that. There it is again, iActive Sense. Now we got another iActive deal. At any rate, here is Mazda's suite of advanced safety technology, safety features, ingenious technologies that can help alert you to potential hazards and all that. They call it iActive Sense. It's not standard. It's an available feature. All right, so let's learn about what those technologies are real quick. So you got blind spot monitoring. I'm not going to go through every paragraph. If you want to make sure you get that read in, then just pause the video real quick. I'll wait for you. So here's the blind spot monitoring. Then we have rear cross traffic alert. We have advanced smart city brake support with pedestrian detection. We have lane departure warning system. We have a lane keep assist system. An adaptive front lighting. Pretty low setup function. Here's the deal. The deal is what part of what makes a new car really awesome these days is all this safety features. Now, sometimes you get some of this stuff standard. Sometimes you got to pay a little extra for it. I think it's worth the money to pay extra to get all this stuff, because if you don't get it, you're kind of missing out on the whole benefit of getting a new car. These great safety features. I didn't realize it. We're not going to explore it, but it's worth noting. Check this out. Discover the new 2019 Mazda CX-5 Signature Skyactiv D, a diesel. So they're going to have a diesel version, or they do have a diesel version of the 2019 Mazda CX-5, but it only comes in the top tier signature trim. It's just worth noting. Let's move on. Okay, let's check some specs. We're going to check some specs, and then after we check these specs, then we'll do our build and price. So, some basic specs for our Grand Touring Reserve. Estimated highway fuel economy, 27 miles to the gallon. We know that it gets that very potent and peppy new 4-cylinder engine that makes 250 horsepower. And because it's such a high-spec trim level, it has standard all-wheel drive. Here are some standard features. Again, I'm not going to read all of these, but you can kind of see them. You can pause the video a little bit if you want, but it's got a lot of LED. You got a lot of LED headlights, daytime running lights, the fog lights, the combination tail lights. You got body color heated power side mirrors with LED turn signals. So you got a lot of LED stuff. Auto on-off headlights, high beam control, auto power folding side mirrors. We kind of went over all this stuff, so I'm just kind of breezing over it a little bit. Let's actually talk dimensions, though, real fast. Let's talk about exterior dimensions for the 2019 Mazda CX-5. It's got a 106.2-inch wheelbase. It's 179.1 inches long. With the mirrors all out, it's 72.5 inches wide. And as far as height is concerned, with the roof rails, it varies depending. It's somewhere between 65.3 inches and 66.1 inches, depending on if the antenna's there or the roof rails, etc. And it's got 7.5 inches of ground clearance. Here are some of the interior specs. Push button start. You got the remote fuel door release, interior sunshades. You got all that. Power windows with one touch down and up feature. You got speed sensitive power door locks. You got dual zone automatic climate control. Here they're talking about all your storage. So look at all this stuff for storage. Glove compartment, overhead console. You got a rear seat console armrest. You got a lot of storage compartments. And then here they're talking about the seating. Yep, it's 5-passenger seating. You got leather trim seats, leather wrapped steering wheel, heated steering wheel, leather wrapped gear selector, carpet floor mats. Like I said, I'm not going over all of them. I'm just kind of hitting the high point stuff. You got that Bose 10 speaker with the center point. We just learned about it. It's got the Bluetooth. You got navigation. You got the rear view camera. You've got Mazda Connect infotainment. So there's like Pandora and all that stuff already there. Apple CarPlay. You get some trial subscriptions of some Sirius XM. There are 4 USB ports, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. The instrumentation, yeah, there's a 7-inch multifunction information display. That might be the driver information cluster. And then finally, let's talk about some dimensions. Headroom in the front, 39.3. Headroom in the rear, 39 inches. Now, all this is inches. Shoulder room in the front, 57.1. Out back, 54.8. Hip room up front, 55.2. In the back, 55.3. Leg room up front, 41. Leg room in the back, 39.6. You don't really lose that much, do you? No, you don't. Cargo capacity. With the seat folded up, with the seat back up, it's 30.9 cubic feet of storage back there. If you got that second row seat folded down, you have 59.6 cubic feet of cargo capacity storage volume. Here are some standard safety features. You got your 3-point safety belts. You've got hill launch assist, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning. You got a lot of stuff. Tire pressure monitoring system, child safety rear door locks, dynamic stability control. You got rollover protection, dual front airbags. Lots of good stuff. Mazda radar cruise control with stop and go, with the brake city support and all that there. Very cool. Well, last but not least, there was this little options tab, and it looks like the only options we can get are paint options. So with that said, let's go do our build and price and choose our paints and whatnot. Let's move on. All right, there it is. The 2019 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve has an MSRP of $34,870, like we said earlier. And the riveting question is, what color do we want? We want, I don't know. You know what? I think I'm just going to go with the jet black. Let's go with the jet black mica. Let's take a look at the interior. So we can either do like this black leather or this parchment leather. We can't even see the interior. Can we look at some other? No, we're not there yet. You know what? We're just going to do the black leather. I think we're just going to do the black leather with black paint. We're going to keep it simple. As we already knew, there are no packages available, right? The only options were paint choices, and we didn't even choose a paint that would cost extra money. So that's what, it's kind of stinks that you can't add some things, but at the same time, it keeps the price exactly where you want it to be. Last but not least, really, there's just some accessories to look over. Do we want any of these accessories? Really, I like the wheel locks. The rear bumper guard is nice. If you're one of those people that when you're pulling your packages out of your vehicle and you're scuffing the bumper, this is what that's for. All right, that's what that's for. The Mazda mobile start, that sounds kind of interesting. Parking sensor sounds fun. Illuminated door sills sound cool. I like that stuff. We don't need the interior lighting kit. I do like those all-weather floor mats though. Those are nice. What else? The rest of this stuff, I think we could probably. I do like the splash guards front and rear. I like that cargo tray because I like that. I like the protection mats if anything ever gets spilled or anything like that. Okay, looks like we've gone through everything and we added really maybe a couple of grand in upgrade in accessories, options and accessories to help customize our 2019 Mazda CX-5. But looks like we're done. Let's move to the summary. Not bad, actually. You know what? $37,860 out the door. Started life at $34,870. Almost cost us an exact $3,000. Almost exactly $3,000 extra we added to this vehicle. And you know what? It's still well under $40,000. This is a lot of vehicle for the money. Now I can see why I see these running around. Actually, there's somebody at the gym that I work out at that has one of these, and they love it because I've talked to them about this car. I don't think theirs is brand new, but it actually is probably only a year or two old because it looks very, very, very similar. At any rate, yeah, we're done. Great car. I like the Mazda products. I really do. Love the fit and finish. I think these cars punch above their weight for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you found this build and price review helpful, informative, and entertaining on the 2019 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I'm going to tell you to have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the very next video.